Shalom, this is Rabbi Robert Tobin from B'nai Shalom in West Orange once again. This week's Parsha is Parshat Vayeshev, and here the Joseph story begins, and this will drive us towards the end of the book of Breshit, the book of Genesis, and the end of the family stories of our patriarchs, setting the stage for the Jewish history in Egypt and the coming Exodus. The story is around Jacob and his sons, the selling of Joseph into slavery in Egypt, Joseph's time in prison, his advancement through the house of Potiphar, his avoidance of an illicit dalliance with Potiphar's wife, and so forth, and eventually his being placed in front of Pharaoh as an interpreter of dreams, which he attributes only to God. There's a cliffhanger at the end of the Parsha, as those who can bring him to Pharaoh, in fact, do not yet remember Joseph, and next week we'll see the story continue. There are 9 things that Rabbi Levi ben Gershom, a 14th century Provence scholar, very important in the Jewish tradition, has pointed out we should learn from this Parsha, and I'll just bring you a few of them. First and foremost, in beliefs, he says it is important to believe that a person that is receiving blessings from God can actually have those blessings from God overflow from him to other people. That it is important not just to seek or experience and acknowledge the blessings in your life, but to know that through you, others can also receive blessings from your merits. He also goes on in the matter of ethics to say that you should never pay back evil for good that somebody has done to you. Somebody has treated you well and been good to you. You are not to undermine that. You are supposed to repay good with good. He says also, recalling the story of Joseph and Potiphar's wife, that one should do anything really to avoid illicit sexuality, and one should even give up on one's modesty or whatever else to avoid putting oneself in that position of being exposed to or participating in things that are outside of a loving or a monogamous or a sanctioned marriage or relationship. And the example here is Potiphar's wife. Joseph flees, actually leaving his clothing behind in her hand to avoid any actual action. He would not be with her even if no illicit sexuality was happening between them. He wanted to avoid any appearance of that or any attraction or any other temptation. Also on that line, Rabbi Levi ben Gershom says that we should work hard to try and control our natural inclinations. These are natural inclinations, and they can be quite good. But we should always live with some trepidation, some fear or yira of chet, of sin, of doing something wrong or something evil out of those inclinations. We should be guarded and control ourselves. It's part of being an adult. It's part of being a mature person. It's part of being a good person. He also says that in the matter of ethics, we should never say bad things about people if we can avoid it. We should withhold negative information about others, even if they've done us wrong. And he gives a couple examples. Joseph did not tell on the steward, for example, when he gets brought in front of Pharaoh. He could have said, hey, that guy was supposed to tell you about me a long time ago. He doesn't rat him out. He doesn't tell tales about him or cut the rug out from underneath him or anything like that. He simply stays positive. He also doesn't say that Potiphar's wife was this wayward, brazen hussy trying to make him do the wrong thing. He simply professes his own innocence, and he maintains a positive message. Finally, the 9th and final lesson that Rabbi Levi ben Gershom gives us this week is that one should never hesitate to reward good with good. And he does learn this from the story of the cupbearer, Pharaoh's wine steward, who should have brought Joseph out of prison much earlier, and in that way hastened the advent of the resolution of the story, and through the resolution of the story, the advent of the time of Egyptian slavery ending, the redemption of the people, the coming to Sinai, the entry into the land of Israel, all subsequent history to this point and beyond, and in that way the coming of Mashiach and ultimately of redemption of the world. If you hesitate repaying good for good, the stakes could actually be quite high. This is Rabbi Rob Tobin from B'nai Shalom in West Orange with more lessons from Levi ben Gershom, wishing you Shabbat Shalom, and this week a very happy Hanukkah coinciding with Thanksgiving. Shabbat Shalom and a happy Hanukkah.